watching KOCO 5. Breaking news is happening now.
I'm Jessica Shambach. We're breaking in this afternoon after a reported shooting at Rose State College. We are learning that one person is dead, another in custody right now. This information coming from Midwest City Police. You can see Sky 5 is live over the scene. This happened on campus, happened at noon, so within the hour near the Humanities building. As Sky 5 flies overhead, you can see some of the police cruisers that are on scene here. Now, initially, the school sent out an active shooter alert. They tweeted this. They sent this out to people on campus. The school was on lockdown. Everyone there on campus sheltering in place. Now, we have a crew right now talking to the Midwest City Police Chief. They're telling us they believe this is a domestic related situation. As Sky 5 moves around, you can see some of the crime scene tape up and some of the officers there on scene. Police telling our crew that the suspect and the victim knew each other. It was domestic, that the victim is a male. Again, the victim has passed away, was shot once. Now, at this point, they are still keeping the campus as a shelter in place as officers sweep the building right now. They say they want to do this as a precaution for peace of mind. That will be lifted once the building is clear. So they're going to be going door to door, room to room. They're going to do a full sweep of the campus. We're also learning some information about the suspect. We know that the suspect is a male. The suspect in custody right now. Police are asking the public not to come to campus. When you get an alert that there is an active shooter situation at a campus, parents, we know that is a worse nightmare situation, and you want to immediately go to the scene to where your children may be. Again, it is not considered an active shooter situation. It is a reported shooting. One person has been killed and one suspect is in custody. But there is a large police presence there on campus right now as they continue to sweep the building, and they're asking the public not to come to campus. We understand that the shooting was outside. You see some of the crime scene tape up right there alongside that building. We'll have to talk to Chase after a bit, but this may be the front of the building. You see the flagpole there. Midwest City Police telling us that they have off-duty officers that work there on campus, and actually just about 2 weeks ago, they had an active shooter drill at the school, so they have been prepared if a situation like this was to come up. Let's go to our crew on the scene right now. KOCO's Andy Weber. Andy, did you just get a chance to talk to the police chief? I know that they were holding a press conference. If so, what have you learned?
Jess, we did it, and the first thing the chief said is the situation here is contained. A pretty large active scene here, lots of Midwest City Police officers, but the situation itself is over. There is no longer an active shooter here on the Rose State College campus. What we do know is it involved two males, one male victim, one male shooter. The victim was killed by the shooter now in custody. We know what happened at the administration building here on campus. Not much else is known about the situation. We do know it was some sort of domestic incident that led to this shooting here on the Rose State College campus. Police telling us they don't know much more else besides that. For right now, the campus, though, does remain in lockdown. The active shooter is in custody, but the campus is in lockdown. That is because they're doing a full campus sweep, not just this one building, but an entire sweep of the entire campus to make sure there are no longer any active threats here. But as we mentioned, and as you mentioned, Jess, Midwest City Police do patrol Rose State College, so the response time was very short. We don't know the exact time, but we do know that when the call came in, the reports came in, Midwest City officers were already on campus to respond and neutralize that threat here on the Rose State College campus. Jess?
All right, Andy Weber giving us the latest information, giving us those details after a shooting there at Rose State College in Midwest City. Let's go up to our Sky 5 pilot, Chase Rutledge, who has been flying over this. And Chase, Andy said this happened just outside the administration building. Is that where you are, as far as you can tell?
Yeah, that's right, Jessica. And when we first got on the scene, we could confirm a fatality or a victim that was deceased. And it happened, what you're seeing right now is a sidewalk. This is on the south side of the building. where the incident happened was through this sidewalk. There's an opening or a walkway underneath the building that opens up to an area in between the buildings here, administrative buildings, and probably some classrooms here as well. But that's where the shooting took place. And I can tell you right now that the only activity and the only people walking around campus right now are security and the Midwest City Police Department, like you said, clearing buildings just to make sure that the all clear can be given before they do. But just due to the sensitive nature of the scene here, we're going to keep our camera off of where the victim actually is, just so you don't see anything you don't want to see. Back to you, Jess.
All right, Chase Rutledge, our Sky 5 pilot, flying over Rose State College right now, where just within the past hour, a shooting occurred. One person was killed. Police calling this a domestic situation. They are saying the shooter is in custody and the situation has been contained, but it is active in the sense that there's a large police presence. They are going room to room, door to door. They want to make sure for peace of mind that there is no other threat. So they're asking people who are on campus to, they've asked them to shelter in place, and the campus has been on lockdown. You do see some people in the parking lot right now. I don't know if we can go back up to Chase right now. Let me know if we have him available. In a situation like this, if you were already in one classroom, when you're asked to shelter in place, typically you have to stay in that classroom until the all clear is given. These people may have just come up after this situation occurred. Not 100% at this point, but police are keeping the campus on lockdown until they can give the all clear as they make their way throughout the campus. They were able to respond very quickly because they have officers who are already there on scene at the campus, and they prepare for situations like this. We want to go back up to our Sky 5 pilot, Chase Rutledge. And Chase, we were just talking about the fact that a lockdown is in place. We do see some people who are in the parking lot, and you may not even know this, but does it look like maybe there were perhaps people who came to the scene after the fact or who had already been in the parking lot when this occurred?
Jessica, it's a little bit of both. Some had come out of the building right after the shooting happened. Some have showed up into this parking lot and just kind of gathered right here in this area, but they're all, I'm sure, very curious, hoping that they don't know who the victim is. But yeah, this is a gathering of more than likely students and faculty here from the university that you see a lot of backpacks there, and they're gathering to try to get some answers as to what happened and maybe who the victim was and who these two individuals were. But yeah, it looks like some have been here and some have just showed up to the school. But yeah, it's very tense situation, very serious situation here, and I know that the investigators are on the ground and they're getting ready or they're right in the middle of their investigation, and it will be ongoing for a while, so I don't anticipate them giving the all clear at the school anytime soon, and when they do, the investigation is going to continue, so I doubt there are going to be classes for the rest of the day. Jessica?
Well, and Chase, when you think of a situation like this, although we know it's been contained at this point, it is still very traumatic to go through something like this when you're at school and you hear of an active shooter situation and you're told to shelter in place. Perhaps you've even heard a shot that was fired. It is a lot to go through. Thankfully, police have the situation contained right now. A suspect is in custody. Sadly, one person has been killed. We talked to Midwest City Police not that long ago. They gave us a briefing. Let's hear what they had to say.
What we have here is about 20 minutes ago, we had calls coming in that someone had been shot. We have officers on scene, on campus that work here at Rose State, immediately responded to the area, confronted the subject with a gun. They ordered him to drop the gun, which he did, and they took him into custody. And at this time, what it appears is this is some type of domestic related incident. The suspect and the victim are acquainted through a domestic situation, that the suspect confronted the victim and was shot one time, and he is deceased.
You are hearing from the Midwest City Police Chief Sid Porter, giving our crew the very latest information on exactly what happened there at Rose State College, saying that police confronted the suspect. They were already there on campus, so they were able to get to the suspect fairly quickly. They ordered the suspect to drop the gun. They say he complied. The suspect is in custody, and police are saying that this is a domestic situation in that the suspect and the victim knew each other. We are still waiting to learn information about the victim. If the victim is a student, a faculty member, or someone who just happened to be there on campus, we will continue to work to learn more information for you. Our crew on scene, Andy Weber, reporting this happened just outside the administration building there at Rose State College. And again, it's going to continue to be an active scene in that crews are going through the building. The situation is contained. I should say the buildings. This is a college campus, so there's a lot for them to go through. They said for peace of mind, to make sure that they can give the all clear, so they want people to stay in place so they can go through and search all of the campus there at Rose State College, so they can give the all clear. But in the meantime, it will be on lockdown. Our crews will stay on scene and continue to work to get more information for you. So stay with KOCO 5 News. Make sure you have the KOCO app on your phone as well for the very latest information. After a deadly shooting at Rose State College this afternoon, one suspect in custody, and KOCO will continue to give you more information on the app, here on the air, and tonight when you join us at 4 o'clock, 5 and 6 p.m.